Hello everyone. So welcome to your Literature Wizard channel. And if you haven't yet subscribed to our channel, please do subscribe, and also don't forget to hit the bell icon so that you will get the updates on time whenever I upload a video. So today I have decided to make this video in order to tell you some very important tips and tricks while preparing for NET. So I have been told by many of my friends and relatives who had been preparing for NET that when some of them who had enrolled for some kind of online paid courses, and some of them who went for offline coaching classes had were facing some kind of difficulties because the classes they were getting were not satisfactory, as they say. So one thing I have to tell you is that you cannot, when it comes to preparing for NET, you cannot completely depend on an organization or a person, because we do really have a very vast area to cover for the NET exam. So maybe it's such institutions and professors or people will be able to guide you, but they are not going to spoon feed you because it is impossible. So first thing is that you have to understand, well, in order to clear NET, the most important thing is you should be able to work hard for it, instead of taking some person or organization for granted, because 90% of the work comes from your own part. So the next thing is that you should stick to a plan. You should have a proper timetable which you should follow for each day, so that you make sure you cover the expected portions. The expected portions that you are going to cover according to your plan, you should definitely cover on that particular day, so that then only you will be able to constantly work towards succeeding your goal. So let me tell you certain important things that are going to help you if you do it. So the first thing is that keep a notebook. So you have to keep a notebook separately for NET, and I just didn't mean a single notebook. You can buy a couple of notebooks which you use solely for the purpose of writing notes related to NET exam or literature in particular. Literature in general. Okay, so in this notebook you could write the names of all those important authors. You could find those names by just searching the web, or you could get any good book for NET from the market, and there will be the list of the important authors, right? So write the names of all these authors. Then the next thing you have to do is prepare a profile for these authors, and in which you will include all those basic details about them, and like the year they were born, the year that they died, all the important works that they wrote, and anything like that. All those basic details you could include in the profile. And so the next thing is you can also write down, it is very important, this one is very important, you're supposed to select all those important works which we usually call as canonical texts of literature, and you could easily find them out with the help of the internet, or by referring the old question papers and all. You can really easily find out all those important name of all those important authors and all those important works, and then you can prepare brief summaries of each of these works. If you want, for really important texts, you could even prepare a very detailed summary, so that you will remember all the names of those characters and the plot which you are supposed to be familiar with, and all those things. And if you want, you can especially if you really have gone through the question papers of the recent net exams conducted by the NTA, you could also realize one thing, which is that the quotes taken from certain novels or poems or whatever literary work it is are also very important. So you're also supposed to write those important quotes in this notebook. All right. So the next thing is that you should be very much familiar with various ages and periods of literature, so that because that's the base upon which you add all those details. Like you take one period, you read all those facts and historical backgrounds related to that particular age, and then you relate. You'll be able to then only you'll be able to relate a particular work written in that age, and why such a work was written, and what it has to do with the historical context of the time and all. So for that, you must be able to connect a particular work written by a particular author with the age in which he belonged to. Okay, so you should also write down all those important ages, and you should study that, and you should know all the features related to these ages. And especially one thing is that you may already know that, because for all those net exams which was conducted by CBSE, you only had to study from Chaucer onwards, but now the NTA has provided a new syllabus in which you have to study from Anglo-Saxon period onwards. I mean, from the Old English period onwards. So you have to keep that in mind, which is very important. Okay, so the next thing is that you should be familiar with the historical background. For that, you can refer to some good history books. I personally recommend reading Edward Albert's History of English Language, or Edward Albert's History of English Literature, or R.D. Trivedi's A Compendious History of English. These two books, those I personally recommend, because these books have really helped me while I prepared for NET. And yeah, so I know there are many other books as well, so you could you could stick to any of these books, but you have to read it in detail, at least one of them, because it is really going to help you. Next thing is about the literary terms. So you could read M.H. Abraham's glossary for a basic idea about each of those literary terms important in literature, and the knowledge of these literary terms is kind of really important as well. So next thing is about literary theory. So the book I recommend for this is Amaya Habib's book for literary theory. And another thing is that you should check all those previous question papers. You should go through them, and you should analyze them in detail, so then only you'll be able to actually predict the questions that are going to come on the oncoming exams. So okay, so that's all for this video. So I'll be making another video in which I will explain the rest of the tips that you are supposed to follow for while preparing for NET. So thank you.